Yep.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm always starting this thing. Good afternoon. Good evening. Welcome to Eco Nation News.
Good morning.
Good morning. If you all would, let me know whether you can hear us with a thumbs up.
Ooh.
And if you can see us, that'll be great too as well.
Good morning. Hi, Kathy B.
Kathy
How are
B.
you doing?
How you doing? Well, you see Kathy
Grand
B.
rising
There
to you. Grand
rising.
rising. I'm on the cell phone, so it's like a little bit of a delay.
Gotcha, Kathy B. How you doing? Thumbs up. Awesome.
Coming in with the thumbs up.
Welcome. I appreciate you coming on in
Thank
again,
you so
Kathy
much.
B. Thank you.
You can take this video. If you have a page where you can share it, I don't care if it's Facebook, web. Share us out. Let people know that we're here.
Yeah.
That we are live. Good morning, everybody. There they go.
Good morning, Miss Sarah. How you doing? Brother Lawrence, how you doing, my brother?
There they are. How you doing, Brother Lawrence? How you doing, Miss Cheryl Faulkner? Go ahead and hit that thumbs up on your way in, family. Sorry we didn't get the stream out earlier so that more people could be here, but we're doing the best that we can. We're doing the best that we can right now.
Hey, I know you're busy. You're always busy, my Renaissance. Good to see you.
Hi. Busy in the garden, in the food forest.
So today I want to kind of go over a couple of things. Of course, this is Eco Nation news that you may or may not be able to use. So every week, what we do typically at 9:45 Central Standard Time, 10:45 Eastern Standard Time, that's American Standard Time, we try to go live. I'm going to stop saying try.
Why are you talking like Biff today? Are you all right?
Biff? What you mean?
You're talking like Biff, like your name is Biff. Like you're the news guy or something.
Oh, that's what I'm doing?
He sound like Biff. Y'all think he sound like Biff today?
You know what? What I'm actually doing is I'm trying to be thoughtful as I speak right now.
I know, baby. I know.
Because I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm struggling.
I know.
I'm trying not to do the ahs and the ums too much. I'm working on my Toastmaster skills.
Yeah.
Trying to build my skill set with public speaking. I used to do a lot more public speaking, but now I've gotten a little rusty, so I'm trying to do a little bit better. But yeah. So if y'all been watching, y'all know we're gonna start out with the thing that's inevitable. It's like I have to talk about it. Hey, growing with Hudson. I forgot my hat, man. I forgot that hat. I know that's your hat, but Hudson, I love that hat, that grow hat.
Yeah.
Look, I gotta do some videos with that grow hat, man. That grow hat is fire, and it's fire with the grow. So I love it. I love that hat. Very nicely done. But I want to kind of touch on some different things. If y'all paid attention, y'all know I dropped a hazard video.
Hold on, excuse me, just a second.
Okay.
Hey, good morning, family. If you will, go ahead and take this. Touch that share thing. And then share the video out wherever you want to share it at. Thank you. We appreciate it.
Toya, how you doing?
Hi, Toya. How you doing?
Kenyatta's Journey. How you doing? I don't think I've seen Kenyatta before.
Oh, you seen Kenyatta's Journey before?
Maybe I have.
You have.
I'm telling y'all, I'm struggling, y'all. ATM Tim, what's going on?
How you doing, Tim?
My brain really seems like it's going about 2 miles per hour.
Well, he had a concussion, and I don't know what he does not understand.
But anyway, one of the things that I really want to kind of discuss, I've had a lot of positive feedback. I just want to say thank you so much for your positive feedback. Thank you so much for you all support. Man, a lot of times, people say you learn a lot when you don't have anything. You also learn a lot when you go through some changes, right? I'm learning a lot of people out there really, truly care about old Eco. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate the warm wishes. I appreciate the prayers. And you can tell that the prayers of the righteous availeth much, because I'm telling you, this week has been quite a challenge. I've gone through a lot of different things in my life. A lot of you all have been going along with this journey. Y'all know some of the challenges that I face, but this just added something more to it. Of course, there have been a lot of people who've been giving some great advice. Shy sent me a hard hat. I got Boss Hall with a care package he's trying to put together, man. A lot of people have been doing a lot of beautiful things, and I really, 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 really appreciate it. And it's nothing that I asked for. And it's like, you see the need and you just fulfill it. You know what I'm saying?
When people care about you, this is what they do. This is what happens when people truly care about you. How you doing, TLC in the garden? Be Family Vibes. How you doing?
TLC,
good to see
how
you.
Doing? Be Family Vibes. Okay, Be Family Vibes. How you doing? Bless up. So some of the things that really come to mind about that particular situation was I didn't even know it happened before it happened. Here I am. I'm just doing my normal work, doing whatever I do. And then all of a sudden, I saw the tree. This is nothing new. We get trees tied up on each other all the time. Some trees are literally hanging right now because they caught up on another tree.
Our vines and been hanging forever.
Yes,
and,
for years. You know. And you already know we talked about the vine situation, babe. Yeah. When you get vines in a viney area, you can have one tree fall and another one picks up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like just that real.
Those vines are so strong, y'all, that they will literally pick up another tree. If that tree falls, those vines can actually grab that whole tree and snatch it right back. Yeah. Towards you. So
King David, what's going on, my friend? So
one of the things that we have to always be conscientious of. How you doing, David?
So, when it happened real quick, and I didn't realize it, but now I look back on it, I was disoriented. I didn't think about it. I just knew it hit. And basically somebody asked, how was it? How did it feel? Did I black out or whatever? I don't believe I blacked out.
He didn't black out because I was actually outside. I was actually recording. Mm-hmm. I was doing a video myself at the time when it happened, and I noticed him just kind of stop. Yeah, I was recording at the time. And I noticed him kind of stop, and I saw him do this, and I was like, even in the video, I said, what just happened? Yeah. Because I didn't see what happened, but I knew something had happened. And so we jumped up there and kind of went to check on him, see if he was all right. And he was just like, he didn't black out. He was just,
So he got
hit.
I grew up, I'm a 70s babies, and, we used to fight. I got punched in the face. I got hit in the head. I even got hit across the face with a pipe before in the scrub. But that felt like a bat. It felt like a bat just hit me. Like the part where you grab, felt like somebody just got the bat and just went bap. And I felt it and I heard it, and it left a ringing that stayed probably about 24 hours, a little bit over 24 hours. And my jaws hurt, and it was like my jaws were hurting, and the top of my head was tender and sore, but I didn't have no knot, didn't have no nothing.
And then in the meantime,
I thought I was cut though. It felt like I was cut.
And in the meantime, here go wife over here, like, you okay? Yeah, I'm all right. Are you sure you're okay? Yeah. Man, it kind of chattered my teeth. What just happened?
The battery, you got it plugged up?
Yeah, it's plugged. No, that's not the battery.
Okay.
That was something different.
So it blanked out for a minute.
Sorry about that, y'all.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
But the thing is,
but he was like, yeah, chattered my teeth, and I'm like, okay, well, that was a hard hit, and I'm looking at him like making sure that he ain't looking a certain type of way, like he about to fall out. He's not really like sweating or anything like that, other than just the fact that it was hot outside. But he kept saying he was all right, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna let him keep saying that. Let him keep saying that he's all right. And he went on like that for the first day, the second day. And then I was like,
So Hudson
Something
said,
right.
Hudson say no hair to protect your skull.
Exactly.
Well, I had on a hat. Thank God I had a grow hat on.
But
I didn't want to mess that up.
It still wasn't adequate though.
Yeah, I had on a hat, but it was a cap.
It needed to been a real hard hat.
Yeah, it knocked off.
Like even if you have like, you know, like the bump caps, that still like that will help you not to get totally knocked out.
Well, I know one thing that I'm going to do. I'm going to get me a thing that attachment that goes on top. For the tractor.
Yeah, for the we tractor. Definitely need to.
I'm gonna get that piece to go on top, and those are some of the things that
or either look at how much it costs to get the cage, like attachment put on, because I know they got an attachment for everything, and I've seen them with the cage over it.
Well, do you remember we both saw it when we were getting the land cleared, and we had my boy out there in his
in the skid steer. He has a cage,
and a tree came in on him. And I remember he was like, God. I said, bro, what's going on with your laptop? Right? It's doing all kinds of crazy stuff. But I was like, bro, that was a close one because it came in the cage with him, that tree, when he was pushing through everything. So it's something serious.
David said, when you have a concussion, you would never know something is wrong. I've been there. Head-on collision on the freeway. Hi, Brenda King. How are you doing? Good to see you this morning. And now it got so bad that he was even getting snappy with me. Like he was snapping me up, and I was like, what?
It was mood swing.
I mean, it was okay. Let me tell y'all how it went. Okay. This might be a little too much, but let me tell y'all.
If you think it's a little too much, it probably is. But they ain't gonna stop Gigi. Let
me tell y'all how it went. So I came home from work. He was at home, and he was asleep. He was taking a nap. You know, I knew he was probably asleep because he didn't answer the phone when I called. And he said that he was going to try and rest. Okay, he had been outside, had been doing everything he wasn't supposed to been doing. He had been outside. Okay,
really?
Yes, really. And so I said, and so when I came home, he was already asleep. And then I was like, okay, well, let me go ahead and like water things. Let me go ahead and get my tomatoes water, get my peppers water, get my okra water, and we'll have to worry about the fruit trees tomorrow because like it was just, I was tired. Okay. And so I said, I was going to go ahead and do that. So I did. I went ahead and watered the stuff. I came and I did something else. But when I came in, he was like, he was in the shower. That's what happened. So between me getting home, taking a little while to get everything watered, and then coming back in right before dark, he was taking a shower, and then he came out, and he was like, "Where you just got home?" And I said, "No, I've been home." And he was like, "Well, why your hair different?"
I don't even remember that.
He was like, "I know you don't." And he was like your hair up, why you got your hair all up like that? You normally have your hair down. He was really confused. And so, right. Yeah, you were right. But man, it was so hot out that door. So I took my hair and I put my hair up in a bun so that when I went outside, I ain't got to worry about my neck being sweaty. I don't have to worry about when I'm bending down, like my hair being in my face, covering my face, and I'm constantly having to fool with it.
Now remember that I'm going to do a short live, so
okay. We're gonna
like a Baptist preacher right now with this story, and I'm trying to push through.
But now, one thing I will tell you, he was very confused, and he was like, "Your hair different. Like what is going on? And why is it nighttime?"
So moving on, so we won't forget what I'm talking about.
Okay, go ahead.
Patience and intolerance. Oh my goodness, patience is out the window, y'all.
Hey, G Mama.
I get a headache trying to be patient now. Anything, any thought process, or if I'm talking a lot, it's just a task. Everything is a task now. But yeah, it's just one of those things that happen, y'all. And some people say, well, you like transparency. Like my mom, she's like, I just hate you wait so old till you get so old. You so old trying to do all this stuff, and I wish you would have tried to do something like this 20, 30 years earlier. And every time I talk to her about the homestead or anything, and when this happened, I already said, oh my God, I already know she gonna get it to me. And my mom,
and I was thinking to myself, I need for him to recover real quick, because his mama gonna be like, I told y'all. So yeah, you remember how Grandma Lou used to be?
Yeah, you're gonna break your neck, your head, your back, your ankle. I'll be riding the bicycle. You need to slow down. You're gonna break your head, your wrist, and your ankle, your jawbone. You're gonna break everything. She just be going through it, man. I guess that's where my mom get it from. My mom's a nurse. A retired nurse, and well, she ain't retired. She's still a nurse. She's still a community nurse for everybody.
Yes, for everybody.
But one thing about it is, let me share something with y'all. Anything can happen. I could have been downtown Tallahassee. Somebody could have dropped something off the Capitol or quarter out the window. So could have hit me in the head and knocked me out. I mean, we cannot live in fear.
Yeah.
And one thing I do want to kind of communicate today and encourage people: things happen, but you don't stop, you don't give up. David Corey didn't stop driving. And wait a minute, you smell that? David Corey, King David. Is that my Renaissance grandmama? Wait a minute, you're smelling mighty fresh, young man. What in the world do you have on, King David?
What in the world?
King David, I think you smell a little fresh. But anyway, if y'all don't know what I'm talking about, go check out King David. David Corey with Crop. Go check out his last video, man. It's that soap, dog. That soap is popping, man. And don't forget about the bug spray. Yeah, and my Renaissance grandmama, she is the maker of the soap. So I just that popped in my head, and that was random. I'll get it. But go check his video out.
Very, very random.
No, you need to check out the video. You'll see what I'm talking about, man. But
nursing nursing people have seen it all. That may be why she was so nervous. Yeah.
She's seen a lot.
40 something years in. She's seen
everything from what you could imagine.
It's a mama's job to worry. That's what we do. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I know.
And so, here I was, I went to work the next day, and that day, the ringing was going on.
Poor wife.
The head.
Like, people are like, poor ego. But listen, and this is why I used to always say to the children, sit down somewhere, because you're going to hurt yourself and you're going to make my life miserable. Because guess who all of it falls back on? It falls right back on me. And I'm saying to him, if you even step out this door, just go sit down up under a tree. Just like, maybe that ain't the best space to sit, but that is the place where you're going to be the coolest, okay? So just trying to get him to slow down, that's hard. That is hard for him, because he's normally just like the Energizer Bunny, just constantly, going on the go. So we need help. Us mothers, us wives. We need help. We need help out here. We are not okay out here with men who don't know how to slow down even when they get injured. So it took him to really be like, for it to get really bad in order to stop him. It really did. Don't frustrate my guy. He's still in recovery.
Look, I wouldn't even know another way. I wouldn't even know another way.
This is just the norm.
I'll probably be paranoid if that ever happened. But I remember going to work, and I remember during the time it was my head was just hurting, and then I was sore, and it wasn't just that bad. But I just remember when I got home, I was exhausted.
Mm.
And then I just felt like I couldn't shake it off. And then the next day, this is a headache. I've had migraine, but this headache is something a little bit different. It's like a migraine to the next degree. And this thing, like, you run out of breath, or you just get exhausted with just talking or just interacting or doing anything. You just gotta lay down, and then you try to do a little something, and you lay down. And I'm busting out in sweats doing nothing. And I'm like, man. And then so I just rested, and I rested. And then I got up, feeling a little bit better, went back to my normal routine, and put me right back down. And I think we went to the ER on Wednesday. I think it was Wednesday.
Yeah, he got up that morning because
I said I need to go because all the nausea and the it's just like right now, like sitting right here for a while. I was just saying, man, I need to go get me something to drink or something, get some water or something, because you just get this nauseated feeling every now and then. But I've learned one thing about this though. I now understood why my grandmother didn't want me to play football, because I really wanted to be this wide receiver. I played doing recreational and in the streets, but I was trying to play it, when I was going to like high school, and she was dead set against it because something happened to one of her friends in school. And now that I'm reading about concussions, man, like I've heard about it, but sometimes you don't really go into there until you actually, you start learning once you have to go through stuff. It's just like some people, you hear about people with cancer, you hear about people with a lot of stuff, but then once you actually have to go through it, then you get real engrossed and involved and start reading. And I know now I would not have my kids to play a lot of sports. Soccer, I had no idea that there was so many concussions with soccer players. And I don't even see this on the news. I hear when you think about concussion, the first thing you think about is football. People don't talk about basketball. People don't talk about boxing. And then the long-term effects of those impacts. I had no idea that a soccer ball with that many hits, they say they have more concussions than any other sport. Have you ever thought about that? I would think football would probably have more, but those professional, or not even professional, kids. Imagine small kids with a big old ball keep hitting them in the head. Mm-hmm. I don't know if sports is really worth it in some of those sports. You know what I'm saying? And everybody talking about AI. I think eventually we won't have humans doing this stuff. We're gonna have this simulated type environment. But yeah, we need to get exercise. We need to do this. We need to do that. But those impact sports like that, man. The knees, basketball knees, but I didn't realize that a lot of basketball players get hit in the head or they get slammed. Some of the worst concussions are when they fall and they hit their head on the court. I mean, there's a lot of players that hit their head on the court that we don't think about. But now when I look at these replays, I be looking at basketball now, I see it totally different now. When I see LeBron James coming down and protecting himself, but some of us, it happens just like that. Yes. And you wouldn't even know it. So I think we're ready to go into our main topic for today. Because like I said, I don't want to be on here too long.
Yeah, we can't be long. We gotta let him get rest.
I gotta get the rest. So the topic is this right here really made me think about some things. Okay. And you remember we had a discussion about this topic, right? On the way in.
We talked about a lot on the way in.
Yeah, but you remember the question is
what really matters?
What really matters?
What's really important?
What's really important? That's the question. And we always invite people if they want to come up to share in this conversation. You want to share in this conversation, but I'm going to start it off.
I remember you asking me what are you willing to die for?
Yeah, that one. But it's all it's all connected to it. So I'm going to lead off with some questions. What are you willing to die for? Right? People said that I had some people say, "What's up?"
David Corey talking about TLC. I played, but I liked the bench. I knew I wasn't going pro. TLC said that is why mine didn't play sports. They did enough damage to themselves, tripping over their big feet until they grew into them. Yeah.
Yeah. And what was the question I just asked?
What are you willing to die for?
What are you willing to die for? Oof. What are you willing to die for? Now, Gigi gave me a response real quick, but I wanted her to get a little bit deeper and think about the question. You know, a lot of people will say, they'll just say the bad happened to me while I was out there and it busted my skull and I'm dead, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm here on the track to dead. You know what people would say? He died. See, he died with something. Wait a minute, we're going to that one.
Okay.
See, he died doing something he was passionate about.
Yeah.
He died doing his lifelong dream. Yeah. And then some people be like,
see, shouldn't have been out there in the first place. Had no business out there in the first place doing that.
Knew something
that stuff is happen. Too dangerous.
I knew something was going to happen. Mm-hmm. I just knew it. He out there, he's doing all this stuff. And what else? Some things people would say.
I would say. Oh, let me stop. Let me stop playing. Let me be serious. Let me be serious.
What you say? Come on.
No. People will go over to my channel and click unsubscribe if I say that. Let me not say that.
Are you talking about insurance? I was. I mean, we all know what's up with that. Are you insured?
Look,
yes, I'm insured.
I always
cha-ching. That what she probably would say. Cha-ching, we in there.
I always be messing with him because I would be telling him, I always try to tell him, you know, be careful, you know, take your time doing this, doing that. And then when he just be like, woman, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And I'll just be like, well, thank you for the extra insurance. Thank you.
What is
You know, it's just a joke.
G Hud said, yeah, I heard
I thought it would have been an alligator. Everybody would think that he would have got ate by an alligator instead.
Look, I keep telling y'all, one day I'm gonna get y'all to come down with me, and we're gonna go and have some nature walks, and I'm gonna show you that it's not that. Alligators aren't that bad.
Before they even know what happened to him, he was out there messing with them gators, wasn't he?
Cha-ching. we in the money, and yeah, really, David. You know, this all ties in. I'm glad we're going through this. You know, I'm glad we're going through this. What are you willing to die for, right? When you think about life, when you really think about the simplicity of life and the complications of life, I don't think life is really that complicated, right? Mm. Because in life, have you imagined, think about this. You go to work, and on the way to your work, you have an accident, and you lose your life, right? Were you willing to die for that? Or Steve Irwin, he's underwater, he's with his animals, he's this and that. And people will say things like, well, he died doing his passion. Or people will go to a foreign country and do different things and contribute and give. We say those things, but we're saying it for us. We're not saying it for the individual. But the question is, what are you doing right now? And then this space and time, is it worth it? Is it worth you losing your life? We all gonna pretty much leave up out of here, right? But my question is, I was thinking after that happened, I said, you know what? Follow your dreams, do what you want to do. Be courageous, push through. Don't let fear overcome what you're trying to do, right? Because most things that we will not do is we fear, whether it's financial, whether it's health, whatever it is, we fear. We do things in fear, or we don't do things because of fear. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. Yeah. We don't do things because of fear. And if we don't do things because of fear, then what are we left with? You know, because this life,
possibly a life unfulfilled. And that for me, that's the one thing that I'm not willing to do, is to leave here unfulfilled. That's why I'm determined that I live life on my terms. And, my sister used to have a name for me back in the days, and she would be like, little hothead, little bitty something, just a hothead. And I'm like, this is kind of how God made me. So, I want to make sure that I'm doing things on my terms, because the worst thing in the world to me would be for me to go bungee jumping, for example. For me to go bungee jumping, knowing doggone well I don't want to bungee jump, but somebody done talked me into bungee jumping, and then I go and the thing snaps while I'm coming down, meeting the ground.
So here you are.
Then I would be like, I died doing some stuff that I didn't even want to do.
So here you are. You would have let somebody talk you into doing something you really didn't want to do in order to get along or please people. And I hear that a lot of times. We sacrifice that a lot, whether it's in our work, our relationships, or our personal lives. One thing I learned now that I've got a little age on me, and to our young men that may be listening, to our young ladies that may be listening, if you want to attract someone and you want someone that you really want to care for you, and you really want to have somebody that really love you, be yourself. You don't have to wear a certain fashion. You don't have to have a certain clothes.
Right.
When I bought things, and it's still to this day, a lot of people, people want to size you up. You walk into a room, when I was in sales, I wore stuff that people liked. It had nothing to do with me. I wore jackets and suits and shoes and different things like that, because people gravitate towards when you look like you're successful. I'd be broken and broke sometimes in my sales months, and some months I'd be winning.
But I was like, let me get that shirt. Give me a little extra starch today.
Yeah, because
we had to win.
That's the thing. And it's like sometimes we lose the fact of who we really are.
Yeah.
To our young women and to our young men, be yourself.
Be yourself.
And the attraction, those that will be attracted to you will come.
Yeah.
Now, granted, know what we say, your lane.
J3.
Know yourself.
Know yourself.
In order to be yourself, you got to know yourself. It's things that, for instance, if somebody came and brought me a Beamer or Maybach, and they came up to me and they offered me this Maybach, I know myself. I know I don't have the money to buy that. I know I hadn't put in the work to earn it. I know that this is something that would be nice to have, but now that I know what I know, it wouldn't be nice. I would sell it in a heartbeat. But anyway, if someone offered me that, I know myself, and I'm thinking, why are you bringing me this? In so many places in our life, we interact with people, we see people, and we don't know ourselves. And when people bring or present themselves to you, we bring in and welcome things that we probably shouldn't into our lives. We wonder why we have these challenges and these problems. And it brings me back to my mom, and then this part about what are you willing to die for? I'm willing to die. First thing Gigi says, for my family.
And that's the only thing.
And then we say that, but you got to be specific when you say that. Specific. The reason why I say that, because family is mighty big, it's mighty large, right? You got to narrow down what we're doing in life, right? Because not everybody deserves your life.
Yes.
Not everybody deserves your life.
Yeah.
And
so
just
when I say my family, what I meant was you. I meant my children. I meant my mother. I meant my children, my mother.
Did you get life insurance?
My brothers and sisters.
Good job. No, I'm just asking. Because I forgot to ask
my brothers and sisters.
Did you get life insurance?
my best friend, her husband, like the people that are there to protect me in life. The people that are there that are loyal to me in life. That's what I mean by my family.
You know, David says, I was trying to impress others. I was pathetic. That's a lot of us. I think in a lot of ways, that's all of us, man. And some of us, we still have not come to grips, because this is the thing. Once you stop trying to impress people, you're going to lose a lot of people. When you stop trying to do things to appease people, does not mean you've been disrespectful, does not mean you've been rude to them, does not mean you don't love them. But once you start living within your truth and doing things within your truth, there's opposition that's going to happen. There's going to be friends, there's going to be foes, right? And with that, you're freeing yourself and you don't even realize it. You're freeing yourself from obligations, commitments that you shouldn't be making. You're freeing yourself from uncomfort. You're freeing yourself from stress. You're freeing yourself from a lot of different things. And what you're also doing, you're attracting. Once you start becoming yourself and living within your truth, then you understand that you're attracting some forces to you. And those forces are very beneficial in your life. They're very nurturing to you. They're very supportive. They're very dedicated. And then you start realizing that, whoa, man, there are some people out there that care for me. There are some things and laws of attraction, right? Things I never even was attracted. I didn't even think I would be attracted to. Now I'm attracted to it because of the fact of I'm living within my truth. And it goes back to, what are you willing to die for? I'm willing to die for God's creation. God created me, right? Created me. You may try to put me in a box, say I may look like such and such, I might sound like such and such, or I might talk like such and such. You may say I may act like such and such, but there is no other equal. Perfectly designed, crafted me. And it's my lifelong journey to not leave this earth and know myself, know why I was created, and know my purpose. And so I think about, I'm willing to die not only for God's creation, but I'm also willing to die for the perfect peace of why he created me. Have you ever thought, for those of you all that are parents that got kids, have you ever thought, out of all the parents in the world, you've been blessed with your gift, your child? No other parent but you was blessed with it. And that blessing, you protected it with everything you had, with your moral fiber, with everything, right? Because you knew that was a special gift that was perfectly designed for you. Same thing for you. Don't discard yourself. Whether you have kids or you don't have kids, you were perfectly made and created by the great creator of all creations, right? And think about it. Out of all the billions and upon billions of sperm that didn't make it, that one,
Jesus.
That one did.
You made it.
That one that did it. That one did it. But it's Sunday. And this is nature.
You made it.
This is eco, nation, and nature. We tying all this stuff in.
Y'all made it. All of it.
I'm just trying to tell you that it.
The ones in the woods, y'all made it.
Yeah. And guess what? Take that time. Enjoy this life, y'all.
Yes.
And leave that grave with nothing. Make your grave empty. Make your grave empty. Make that graveyard empty. All your ideas, your dreams, all your books, all your goals, all your desires. Do them, fulfill them now. Right now. Because you were here for that reason. Imagine this. What if we all went on a trip, right? Let's pretend this, right? You, me, GJ, all of us in the chat, Toya, everybody, J3GS, we all in the truck, right? Just say we in the van. And just say we all going to the Grand Canyon, right? And we all in maybe a bus, okay? We all in a bus. And then we take this trip and say we leave from the ATL and we go all the way out to the Grand Canyon. And then we get at the Grand Canyon and then we spend maybe a week out in nature doing whatever we do. Then we get on the bus and we come back to Atlanta. And there's 5 million people waiting to interview us. And each one of us got to tell the story of that trip to the Grand Canyon. Guess what's going to happen? Every story is going to be a little bit unique and a little bit different. But the whole story as a whole is probably going to be the same. But guess what? Can't nobody tell that story like J3GS. Can't nobody tell that story like Hudson. Can't nobody tell the story like Kathy B, right? Because it's her own truth. It's her own observation. It's her own experience. And she was impacted totally different from how I was impacted. Now, we may have some similarities in that whole piece because we went to the same place, this thing called life, on this little thing we call Earth. We may have some similarities. Some of us been through drama and pain and all that. We may have some similarities. Some of us never had any real tribulations, right? But some of us have had a lot. But all of our journeys are a little bit different. And you leave nothing here. Try your best to leave nothing in this world here. Try to leave all the best that you absolutely have right here. Because most of the stuff that we love and we cherish has nothing to do with what we touch and feel and smell. Think about this. Have you ever listened to the radio and you heard an old tune come on the radio? And you sit back and you listen to that sound and you maybe a song you forgot about. And then all of a sudden you can smell, you can taste, you can remember, you may laugh or something. Right.
Listen, I still have these. I can smell my old neighborhood from when I was a child. I could smell the collard greens and the fried chicken cooking back from my old neighborhood when I hear certain songs. And I'm just like, whoa, that really took me back. Or if a storm happens.
Toya ain't telling that. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, said.
Toya be into some stuff. What's in your pantry? What's in your pantry? Anyway, go ahead.
But seriously though, I can smell it. I remember, like, mentally, I can smell my old neighborhood. I remember how the dirt smelled. We had this one neighbor who lived directly next to us, and they would always drive across our driveway and over into the front of their house instead of using their driveway. Okay. So it made a dirt road going. They would cross our driveway and then they would, be over there. And, my mom didn't mind or whatever. Because everybody took care of their stuff.
People was family,
and people were just family. It was really a community. And so she would get out there, the neighbor would get out there, and she would sweep her dirt driveway. So everything was neat. It was perfect. It was like, yeah, she got this dirt driveway going. And people used to be like, why don't you just use the real driveway? Like, you got a concrete driveway, why don't you just use the driveway? But there was something to her about pulling up in the front of her house, and her family was the same way. So they were very country people, and that's just what they did. They drove in the front of the house. So, but I can remember all of that, and I remember when it would start to rain. I remember what the rain smelled like, if that makes sense. I don't know if anybody else know, but we had this red Georgia clay. And you could smell the rain coming. And then when that rain hit that red clay, it had a certain smell to it. And I can still remember that. I still remember the smell of that. And on Friday nights, the fish fries and all of that.
Notice this. Notice what Gigi just illustrated. She was very vivid, very detailed. If you wasn't there, it was almost like you were there, right? We all got stories like this, right? But nothing she talked about is really tangible in so many ways. It's about memories. It's about those experiences, right?
Experiences, for sure.
You know, it's so bad sometimes. Sometimes things will be crazy and you know you're not going to win on no lottery, right? You know it. You deep down inside, you know you probably won't win, but if you do, it's good. And then some people be like, don't waste your money, right? Everything in moderation, right? So you just say, I'm gonna spend $2. I can afford to spend $2. And guess what you'll do? You'll go get that lottery ticket or that scratch off and you buy it, right? And before you scratch it or before you look for them numbers, you just imagine yourself winning that money. And you just smile and you just think about what all you'll do with spending that money, right? But you know you ain't won. You knew you ain't win. All you're doing is giving the taxpayer more money, right? You already know that, right? But the feel, the energy, the excitement. You know, if you ever been in a hospital bed or if you ever been where you couldn't move or do something like that on your own, and then you land in the bed and you're trying to heal, what'll lift you up is some positive thoughts, some good memories, right? The power of our experiences that we are doing right now is powerful. It's things we don't even think about. But we're paving the way to leave some beautiful memories and some beautiful experiences if you choose. Because some of us, we got our heads so far in these clouds with disparity, badness, grief, viruses, killing, murders. We just so engrossed in all of that stuff, right?
Focused on the wrong stuff.
I ain't gonna say wrong.
Listen,
you focused on something that may not be uplifting to you, right?
Yeah. Okay. To me, that's just the wrong stuff. If it's not up, but I'm not like everybody.
Yeah,
so
we all different.
I'm just
that's the thing.
We stay in my lane.
We all different. and some people they get a high.
They get a rise off of that negative stuff.
It's people. It's people that when an accident comes, I grew up. I'm gonna give you a class example. Growing up, I remember people used to have radars in their car, and if it was a bad accident, they rushed over to the other side of town. But he wasn't by himself. They rushed to the other side of town.
CB radios in the house and everything
to see what happened.
Yep.
Some people get highs. You know,
tell you about the 911 calls.
Have you ever thought about an EMT, a person that really loved their job? What fuels them? But guess what? They're needed because some people couldn't stomach it. Some people couldn't do it. So I'm learning the older I get to understand that
everybody plays a role.
We all play a role in this thing called life. And the beautiful thing about it, you're going to have to need times you need somebody at different times in different stages of your life, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you need those hitters in your life. Sometimes you need somebody he always lying. Let me take him down here to the car lot. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna talk me into this car, right? You know? He's gonna help me out. But anyway, you have different people in your life, right?
Yeah.
And the beautiful thing about it, we all unique and we all different, but we all have a contribution to this thing called life. And a lot of times we put so much pressure on people. And we think we're being supportive, right? But we're really not. If I listen to people, I would have never sold my house. If I listen to people, I would have never.
We would have never got to Florida in the first place.
Wouldn't have been in Florida. Man, if I listen to people, I wouldn't have had jobs I've had.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have had a Benz, wouldn't have had a house, wouldn't have had cars, wouldn't have had a wife. Probably wouldn't have had kids. Man, I had people even try to talk to me. I remember this one guy I worked with. He said, he was older. He said, now that I know what I know now, I would have never had kids. And he was this religious guy. He said, the reason why I wouldn't have had kids because this world is so cruel and so corrupt and so evil. And guess where he worked at in prison with me? Here we are, we supposed to be training and teaching guys skills and job sets, and we supposed to be teaching them and equipping them to be ready for when they get released, right? And you got him as a motivational teacher, inspire. Yeah. It's sad. We got people doing the wrong thing for the wrong reason in the wrong places. But then I sit down and I think about it. I said, you know what? I can't control nobody else. Lord knows I can't.
What happened?
I can't control nobody.
What?
But I'll tell you one thing.
What is this?
I can control myself.
There was a whole shade tree. There was a whole shade tree.
I can control myself to a certain degree. And the crazy thing, let's be honest, sometimes we can't even control ourselves. But we trying to control people, control lives. But understand this. Know thyself. And what are you willing to die for? Know your purpose. Because at the end of the day, when the lights go out and things get quiet, all you left with are the memories.
That's it.
That you placed on this earth. That's all you left with.
And that's all that means anything to me at this point.
That's if you land them right way.
This, like to me at this point in my life, like Friday on the job, I was ready to just get my stuff. I took all of my stuff.
I'm sorry, what in the world going on in this chat?
I took all of my stuff.
And pink waving.
Well, that's just an emoji. See, you can see it on here. You can't see it on screen.
Oh, I thought she was talking about like that pink lotion stuff. Put some waves on her head. I didn't know what was going on. Hey, Grace Guy, how you doing? See, we read the emojis. We don't see
it's
them.
StreamYard, so it doesn't show everything that.
T-Moore, how you doing? Shows. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But I got all of my stuff. I took all of my stuff just in case I decided that on Monday I wasn't coming back. I brought all of my stuff home because to me, I was just saying to myself, why am I over here when my husband is at home, needs me? Why am I here? And I'm like, for the money, literally just for the money.
Do a lot of stuff.
We do a lot of stuff just for the money.
I looked at, I get paid every 2 weeks, right? And I looked at, I'm not talking about after I get paid, but think about this. Where would you come into a deal like this? So I want you all to come to Eco Nation and do some work on Eco Nation, right? And for the first 4 days and 2 hours, I'm not going to pay you, but I need you to work 2 weeks. Where they do that at? We do it every single day. Take a look at your taxes. Take a look at all them little fees, the putbacks that you make. You don't have no control over. They take money. We all know what that is. They take money from you and they use that money to do whatever they want to do with it. And then we depend on them to do the best thing they can do with it. We seen the news where they tell you, well, there's some people that's not getting what they put in 30 years for, right? We've seen the news. But imagine this. Out of 10 days now, I said 2 weeks. See how that sleight of the hand? Out of 10 days, 4 of them days, you're working for free. And they tell you,
go there.
They tell you,
I brought my stuff home. So you got look.
They tell you
don't go here.
The government don't print no money. Government don't print money. And this is a good life lesson for all of us. It's not about you having the resource to make nothing. It's about you having the mandates and the laws and the regulations to get a piece of whatever somebody else is making, if that makes sense. And if it don't make sense, just think about it and hit the replay. Now, the government don't print no money, right? But they need money. So they implement laws and taxations and all this other stuff and fines and fees and all that to get what they want. And guess what we do? We do it every single day. And I was thinking, because I done had a lot of thinking to do during these times. And I was like, for 4 days out of 10, I'm working. 4 days, 4 days and 2 hours, I'm working for somebody else. And then I turn on the TV and I look and see these clowns, what they doing and how they doing with what I'm doing, with what I'm doing with. And I'm saying, man, what are we doing? And so it goes back to what you was talking about this work thing.
Think about it too much, child.
This work thing, man. We doing all this stuff. And like I told y'all before, y'all been with me for a while. Man, when I was a young man, I used to wash cars, and I wanted this big old Benz, man, this S-Class Benz. And I washed this car for this rich guy. And he said, son, you don't buy one of these, because I think at that time maybe $120,000. It was back in the 80s, 90s. And he was like, you don't buy these unless you got the cash to buy them. And he said, then they disposable. He said, I got this for my wife, right? He said, just remember that. I said, man, one day I'm gonna get me one of those. So I worked and I worked and I worked. And one day I got me one. And I did what he told me. I paid cash for it. That didn't matter. Computer module go out. Brakes need done. It ain't no regular brakes. You can't go by, because I could fix my own cars. I could fix those brakes on that car.
Oh, ma'am, no, you have to have this certain tire.
And you got to get certain metric tires, and we have to order it from the dealership. And it's better for you to go to the dealership and order it, because we're gonna put something on top. It was so much stuff, $300 and $400 to put on some brakes, and now it's probably ain't no telling $700-800
these days.
And I'm thinking I'm doing all of this, and then I sat down and I added all those hours and all those multiple hustles that I was doing and all that other stuff for this corruptible piece of crap. For this, now was the ride good? Yeah. Did it make me feel good? Every time I turned, I could see that emblem on the end of that front.
And it traveled good. It just
rolled magnificent. Man, but you know what?
To go to Miami, that was the best and easiest road trip we ever took.
But you know what?
However,
a trailway ride good too. Just the comfy. You know what I'm saying? You go get a new rental car. In the beginning, it rides real good, right? But you think about all this stuff we do. Now they doing 30, 40, they doing 40, and even they dancing with a 50-year mortgage. Next, we're going to be leasing the land in America.
That's where we're headed.
Leasing.
That's where we're headed.
And some people say you're doing that anyway. You don't never own nothing. We already talked about that.
Kind of, sort of. But the difference is that you can sell what you have now, what you pay for now, and you can get some money off of it in order to get something else to take you on out of here.
So learn to let go, y'all.
The leases.
That's why you don't fall in love with this materialistic stuff. Learn to let go. The blessings you don't get the blessing out of it until you let it go.
My best friend, we were having a conversation yesterday, and she said I learned so much from my aunt, because my aunt, like, she can go anywhere she want. She can pretty much, she wrote her card at a young age, and she said, how is it that you got to this point to where you can pretty much do whatever you want? She was able to retire early, the whole thing. She said, baby, because I don't fall in love with things. I use things as tools to get what I need. I don't fall in love with things. She said, I've never fallen in love with a house before. Never. She said, and that's why I've sold so many of them, because it was just a tool for me to use to get to where I wanted to be.
Yeah, a lot of people, they try to live like what we've done a lot of times, no debt, the fewer obligations you have, the freer you can be, right? The less responsibilities you have, the freer you can be, but you still got to have responsibilities in life, right? A lot of people feel like they can live this life and just be responsibility free. But the only thing about it in this life, we also have to have relationships. You have to be socially connected in some form or fashion. And if you're not, you're typically going to have some mental issues by design. If you don't believe me, you can go back to a book they call a Book of Life. It's nothing It has nothing. Man has made, quote, religion, but the book of life is still the book of life, right? Whether you want to agree with it or not, you can test it. It's been tested, right? And then the beautiful thing about one of the first things that the Creator did with man is you shouldn't be alone. You should not be alone. Every animal had a pair, male and female, right? Wonder why we feel like we can do no obligations, no stressors. And I'm not saying it won't work. Don't get me twisted. I'm saying it won't work. And nothing, the book of life is not to do everything exactly like that, but it's a guide, right? It's a guide to kind of guide you, right? So then let's bring this back to having no responsibilities, doing nothing, right? If you have nothing, then you own nothing. Then if you own nothing, you ain't responsible for nothing. That's the idea, right? It's not reality. It's not reality. You buy a sneaker, boy, you're gonna pay taxes, right? If you want to get to point A to point B, you gotta pay. If you get sick, you need medicine. Guess what? You gotta either have insurance, copay, or a combination of cash, right? Something in exchange, right? In other words, what are you exchanging? You're exchanging with someone else. When you're exchanging with someone else, that means you need somebody. When your young behind becomes an old behind and you can't hardly lift up your head, or you done fell off a ladder, or you done did something you ain't had no business doing, and you need somebody to take care of you, or you can't reach this hand to your back posterior part of your body, guess what you need? Somebody. So guess what you should be doing while you're in your youth and while you have your all with alls? You should be building relationships.
Real ones. Real,
true life relationships. Who do you build relationships with? People that you can be agreeable with, and people you can be yourself. And the people that do not gravitate towards you being yourself, you need to let them be free. Don't try to be a magnet to something that's a polar opposite from what you know that you need to be when you around them. I remember younger when I used to have to be certain things just to get along with certain people that I thought was my friend.
Then Gigi came along.
Before Gigi came along.
Shoot.
I wouldn't even been able to pull Gigi if it wasn't for those learning lessons. Because Gigi didn't like nobody who didn't know themselves. I couldn't attract Gigi. I couldn't attract Gigi if I wasn't confident. If I didn't, and how can you be confident when you don't know yourself? People call it arrogant and cocky. It's not. It's not. Those are the people trying to talk you out of not being yourself.
They don't want you.
They don't want you to be yourself. They see the value in you, and they know the value in you. Now, are there confident, cocky people?
Of course.
Of course. But it depends. If you, for example, I'll give you an example. Eco, you do not know how to go in your driveway and go to the back of your property. You don't know the direction, Eco. You got 5 roads going here and there. You don't even know how to go straight there and get there. Now, for you to tell me that, and you ain't never been on Eco Nation, and I built the road, I ain't cocky.
You don't know where you going.
I ain't arrogant.
I know that.
And then when I tell you,
exactly
I tell you exactly what Gigi just said, you don't know where you're going. Look at him. He's arrogant. He's cocky. He's condescending. No, I'm speaking facts and I'm keeping it, as people say, 100, right? Whatever that is, whatever the 100 is. But anyway.
What we used to call it, keep it real.
Keep it
keep
real.
It
whatever that is, too. Man, if you believe something real, just test it. You believe something real, test it. All right. But seriously, on a serious tip, the thing is, you have to have balance in your life. Do we need a job? Most cases, yes. Do we need income, money? In most cases, yes. Do we need friends? Yes. We need all these pieces, but it's a balance. It should be a balance. You shouldn't have to work 10 days to get your money, first of all. You shouldn't have to work 4 days out of that in 2 hours for free. So there should be balance to everything. You shouldn't have to work 9 years to pay for one vehicle. People doing it. You shouldn't have to pay $2,000, $1,800 a month for a vehicle. People doing it. You shouldn't have to. Now, if you want to, it should be optional. If you want to work 10 days and you want to work 4 of those days in 2 hours, it should be optional. But it shouldn't be just where we don't have no choice. So I don't know. I don't have the answer to everything, but I'm just saying it's certain things in this deal, this thing we call life is not, life ain't balanced and it ain't fair. And so don't look for it to be. But then my recommendation is that you be yourself and know what's worth dying for. Because nothing is worth living this life trying to appease people that don't care nothing about you. My uncle, I had a conversation with my uncle. He was checking on me. My uncle's like my dad, right? He said, I remember he's an electrician, right? Retired electrician. He ran the big power lines and stuff like that. Y'all seen
Y'all saw him on one of our videos.
On the vid. Y'all seen him
he was teaching Eco how to wire up the cabin.
Yeah.
That uncle.
So he told me about one of his foremen on the job. He said, yeah, man, we were clearing a right of way. A right of way is when they take power lines and they put power lines down because there was a road. They was expanding a road, a highway. And so they cut through the woods and they were putting down the power line. He said his foreman, we got up, did everything like every day, did whatever we need to do, was out there clearing. And then he messed around and we was putting up poles and stuff, and the pole hit him and it killed him dead. Mm-hmm. And he said, I had just kind of started to become a new lineman, right? He said it killed him dead. He said, man, we were back in the woods, we was too far, we couldn't do nothing for him. And he said they eventually came out, paramedics, everybody came out, they took him. And he said, then we went right back to work. Mommy, don't say nothing, just let that resonate from me. Don't say nothing. The pole fell on one of their leaders of their company. The pole fell on one of their leaders, one of the managers, the head guy. So he had a wealth of experience. And then when the pole fell, they stopped working. Then the paramedics came. They took his body. And he said, then we went back to work. Y'all, what we doing, y'all? You spend a large amount of your time for other people that really ready to go back to work. Be careful. Spend some time with some people who really want to leave you that good old song in your head, to cook that fried fish to make you think about it, to go outside with you and sit on the porch while you smell the rain hit the mud. Spend some time with somebody that'll rub your head when it hurts. Spend some time with some people that'll smile at you just because they're proud of you. When you feel like you just made the biggest mistake in your life, you know what I'm saying? Find somebody that's going to tell you, you did wrong for that, Eco. Find somebody to say, what in the world is you thinking?
Yeah, we just had a conversation this morning.
Man, we talk so much about so many things.
Man,
find you somebody you can just talk about anything and they not be mad at you and unfriend you.
Yes.
Or unlike you or unsubscribe.
Yeah.
Find you somebody in your life.
Those type of people.
That really just check on you. You ain't talked to them in a while. And you ain't even seen them in years.
And y'all still cool.
And you're still cool.
Still all right.
Find you somebody that when they confront you about something that you thought you were right, and you realize you weren't right, and then you went back to them and they said it's okay, it's all good. Find you somebody, yeah. Because this time we got right now, it's on a short span of time, and like the great book says, it's just a vapor, right?
Mm.
And y'all don't even realize in this chat, y'all comments, the laughter, the smiles, y'all imprinting some good memories, right? Y'all putting down some beautiful memories for me and Gigi. Find some people that you can align your life with. Find some people that are seeing you a bump cap or a hard cap when you done got busted upside the head. You know what I'm saying? Center yourself around some of that, because think about this. Let's look at the opposite. What if you centered your time around people that just wanted to, they just wanted to get whatever they can get at you. And as soon as they get whatever they can get at you, they gone. Or what if you spent some time with some people just waiting for you to fail? And how do you know that you around those people? Because you watch how they deal with other people. When you want to know how you're gonna be treated, look how they treating other folks.
That part.
When I never forget, every time I go to a job, the first person I look for is the most friendliest, helpful person to put me on game about what's going on. That's the first person I look to anytime I start a job. Anytime I start a job, I look for the first person that's gonna be up there to tell me all the tea. Because guess what? That's gonna be the first person I'm gonna stay away from. That's gonna be the first person. You do the same thing with life. You know, what do you give me this Benz for? What do you give me this Maybach for? What's the purpose of you giving me this? I didn't ask for this, right? Then once you find the purpose and once you find out why, sometimes it could be a gift, right? But how often do that happen? But how often do people bring you stuff and you know it's something behind it? One definitely outweighs the other, right? So we got the beautiful queen. We got Auntie Bev Jones.
Auntie Bev
What's
Jones.
up, Auntie?
How you doing?
Hi, guys. Hi, guys. Hi, chat.
You're going to be our normal, I guess.
Yeah,
you're going to be our regular.
Come on over. How you doing?
I don't mind. You know I like to talk, so I do not mind. But I don't want to talk a lot today. I have to say that because I don't want anybody to log off. But I do want to tell you this. I've been listening, and is what you guys have been saying is very inspiring. And I think David or Family Man, one of them asked a question or made a statement that put me into mind of a poem that Kipling wrote. And if you don't know who Kipling is, you might want to check out that poem. I actually read that poem on YouTube years ago, and then I posted it and left it over on Aunt Bee's homestead. But Kipling wrote something called if, I-F, if. So make sure you make a note of that, especially men. I think they said that, hold on, let me turn my volume down. I think they said that it was written to his son, because he would write his stories for his own children to be read aloud. So let me give you a little of that, and then think about it really hard. Think about what Eco has said. Think about what Gigi's friends, I guess her aunt said about she learned that things are tools, and listen to what Kipling said. His name is Rudyard Kipling, but if you write Kipling, he's so popular, it'll pop up. This is from the Poetry Foundation. if you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, how many times has that happened in your life? Okay, so this is a 19 what, I don't want to say 1914. This is a long time ago. So things aren't changing. We're just running into the way things are. You know, uh uh even though it's 2023, people are still people, is what I mean. People are still people. And when you really analyze it, uh, when you analyze this about, wealth and health, and health is your greatest wealth, because you can get anything if you're healed and you're healthy. So let's keep going. If you can keep your head, that's what he said to first. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too, let me break that. That is powerful. Okay. When somebody's doubting you, if you can hold yourself together and say, everybody can turn their back on me if they want, but I know what I'm saying is true, or I know what I'm doing is the right path. But then you can think about, okay, let me see why they could be doubting me, or could feel the need to doubt me. If you can make allowance for all those things at the same time that you're confident that you're on the right path, I'm telling you, that's power. That's power. He goes on to say, and I'm interjecting between this, he goes on to say, uh, but make allowance for their doubting too. If you can wait and not be tired by waiting or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating. Now, if you have brown skin, if you have any color skin, and you have been a prisoner of anybody's, if you have been subjected, uh, any of that, that should be a powerful statement to you. Lied about or hated, and you don't give in to either of those, you don't become a liar, you don't become a hater. And it's basically some of the things that Eco was saying about finding that person that's going to tell you everything, and then you keep your distance. You don't have to talk about that person who spills the tea, as they say, and not the drinking tea, but you don't have to become that person either. So if you can wait and not be tired, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet you don't look too good nor talk too wise. I'm telling you, there's a balance. Because if you start looking good, I've been watching Eco and Gigi a long time, when they were like down to 100 likes on YouTube. So as they continue to go, I know they're still real people. So when he talks about not looking too good, even though you're good, even though you might be wise in some things, and not talking too wise, so you're giving way and you're allowing other people to talk, and other people to share their wisdom, and knowing that you're not the only one who knows things and not the only one who's smart. um, and you just make allowance for everything. He kept saying, if you can dream and not make dreams your master. Some people live their life by their dreams. They live their whole lives by their dreams. They'll say, well, I dreamed of fish, somebody got to be pregnant. Well, nobody has to be pregnant. because somebody dreamt a fish and all of us was past our childbearing time. That doesn't mean that we're pregnant, you know. I mean, that means you dreamt the fish, and then, yes, a lot of times that stuff was true, but he's saying, don't make dreams your master. Don't, whether it's imaginary or whether you plan to be or do something, and you said, oh, my life is over because my dreams didn't come true. So he's saying, don't make dreams your master. You can do other things if that doesn't come true. I'm going to stop right there. This stuff is deep. I'm telling you, it's deep. And
Can,
this guy, I don't know if Kipling was at the end of life, beginning of life.
can you do me one favor though?
Yes,
I think it was about the second sentence. Can you reread that second sentence?
sure. He said, he said, if first he said, if you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too.
Woo!
So yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So, man, yeah, that just need to resonate, really.
Kipling.
Yeah, that need to
Tell
resonate.
you, read it, read it, read it, read it. And when you read things, you don't always agree with everything, but reading opens, broadens your understanding of the world around you,
Yeah.
because books can take you where you may not be able to travel.
Now,
So
Gigi said something about the audience. Can you tell us what about the audience?
Oh, I was just saying that you have to know your audience. You have to know who you're talking to, because I had this one sister telling me, because we were in business together,
mhm,
and she said, the next time somebody tells you that something is too good for them, don't you try to convince them that it's not. She was,
right,
probably 20 years older than me.
Uh,
And, I was like, I don't understand, like, how that lady could not like what I just made for her. I
right,
made her a beautiful floral arrangement. This was back when I had, I was doing weddings,
mhm,
doing floral arrangements for a wedding. And she said, you didn't give her the dollar store.
hmm.
She asked you for the dollar store, and you're trying to give her Pier 1.
right,
When somebody tells you that something is too good for them, don't try to convince them that it's not.
right,
And that's one of those things where I still talk about know thyself. It's just like, for instance, it don't. I go and I look at Rodeo Drive. I look at some of those shops and those boutiques and stuff, and it has nothing for me on Eco Nation. That the thorns and stuff will rip that stuff apart.
Mm.
And 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 there's no need to try to convince me to spend $10,000 on a shirt, right?
right,
It does me no good.
Mm-hmm.
And just because I know myself and I know my environment, it does not mean that just because I choose to go to the Dollar General instead of to that boutique that I'm less
Mm-hmm.
right,
than the person that goes to the boutique, and it don't mean that the person that goes to the boutique is better than me.
They just different.
We just
They
different,
just different.
and that's what I think we don't take the time in life to really try to understand. And the question was in the chat was, can you
Yeah, that's exactly
expand?
that's what we expounding on.
That's what we're
We're
talking about.
expounding on that. That's what make allowance
You,
means.
you,
Just know your audience, know who they are,
yeah.
know what they like, know who you're dealing with. It's like this channel. We have very intelligent people on this
Yeah.
channel.
It's bored. It's boring if you just want to just
It-
sit and
listen,
bust your good
if you
and
want to cut the
this
food,
ain't it. This
this
ain't
is
it.
not the
This
channel
ain't
for
it.
you. You just want to cut the
Yeah,
food,
yeah,
because that's just not who we are as people. And we
The funniest
understand
person next to me is King David in this chat. But one thing you cannot sleep on King David is intelligent.
it's very intelligent.
He's funny, but he's deep. And if you don't listen, it'll fly right by
You're
you.
gonna miss some
You're
stuff.
gonna miss it.
Be
But
careful.
but but it's no. This is lightweight. dry, wet paint over here, right? But to some, it's a feast. And for those that's a feast, welcome.
We appreciate.
Appreciate you. Thank you for coming. And if you want to hit that like, that's cool.
I have a guest coming on next week to my channel, and I let her know. I was like, my audience is very intelligent. Like, we ain't on here bulls. We ain't doing that. My audience is very intelligent, and they like to learn. Yeah, they like to have fun like anybody else, but they come over here to learn. And so, just come with your A game. Just come with your A game. So, I mean, that's I love it. That's who we are.
Now, one thing about learning now, and you expounded on this too, Auntie Bev. One thing about learning is you said that the reason I asked you to read that statement again. Can you read it? Can you read it one more time? And then I want to touch on that real quick.
Hi, Harriet Claire.
Hey, Harriet, how you doing?
He said, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too.
So here it is. Let's go back to scenario. You telling me I did Eco Nation. I'm going straight to the back, and you arguing with me, telling me I don't know my way, right? Or you might not even say I don't know my way. You might say I know another better way, right? Now here I am. I laid out all the roads. I put everything in. And then I'm entertaining the fact that you said, I know a better way. Because guess what you can have? You can have a drone. You could have already been on my property illegally. You could have an engineering degree and did the combination of all those other three, right? So this is the crazy thing, right? If you at least listen to others, you can absorb something and learn from them.
Make allowance. Listen, make allowance.
Make allowance. And guess what you're going to do in the end? You're going to grow.
Right.
You're going to grow. And guess what you're going to also be able to do? Help somebody else to grow.
That's it.
And that's what we got, y'all. And I think we had a good stopping point. I thank you so much, Auntie Bev. Thank you so much as always. The chat, man, this chat is banging, man. I love this chat, man. David, always thank you for your keeping the flow, keeping things energized, keeping it going. Miss Harriet, Miss Shara, I can't name everybody. Grace guys, everybody. Those, as we say in the woods, all in the homestead.
Sheriff,
how you
thank
doing?
You for being here.
Thank you all.
Guys. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. T. Moore, I know you were up there. Thank you for being here. Family Man. The experience with Sassy. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Always great to see you in the chat.
TLC in the garden. John 74.
Yeah,
appreciate you coming.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
But those of you all that we didn't name, Toyas, we thank you so much. Kathy B, as always.
Yes.
Man, really appreciate y'all. And just take it as, we appreciate you. We appreciate you taking your time out of your day. You didn't have to. You could have did 50 million things, but you did it right here. And we took a space and a slice out of your life, and we appreciate that. And so always remember, y'all, you already know what's going to happen next. Whatever you do, make sure that you keep on growing. Grow. Take care, y'all. Stay blessed. Stay blessed, y'all. All right.